got quiet. It still says going live, but it tricks me every time. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Teacher Kasie. Yes, it's me. I am back on Saturdays. Thank you, Kelly, for helping me out all month and giving me a little bit of time off. And Kathy Kelly is here. Hey, Kathy, you are first. Way to go. So
sewing or knitting or something while she's listening.
Oh yeah, what are you doing while listening, Kathy? She's always doing something. You're right, Cindy. So welcome, Cindy and Jerry. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Good. A little tired.
Classes this morning?
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's see. I had
6 VIP kid, and I have been doing like 3 to 4 or less because I've been doing other stuff.
Yeah.
So today was my first 6 in a row in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I got one. So one student no-show.
Oh, that was nice.
That was really nice.
Let's see. I think I had 6 too. I kept one spot closed on purpose. I've been kind of doing that a little bit. That's my way of giving myself a little grace.
Yeah. Tomorrow, 3 of them canceled, and I just closed them.
Yep. I had
one left for tomorrow.
I do something weird on Sunday. Sometimes I don't open anything till short notice. Sometimes I open a few and then I do half and half.
Yeah.
Yesterday, for some reason, I don't know what I did. I only had one booked from the Frenzy and she canceled. And so I decided I'm actually going to have no alarm for the first time in forever. I can't even tell you. So I just decided, you know what? Tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow's the day.
You have Outschool classes today?
I had one. I just had one. Yeah. I've been trying to have 2, but the second one just isn't really taking off the right way. I'll get like 2 kids and then 1 will drop, and then I'll get 3 kids and then 2 will drop. And so finally I had no one, and I thought, nope, that one's not working. And that happened to me earlier on, late 2020 into 2021. And so I've tried 2 different classes in that second slot, not working.
Huh.
So I don't know. We'll see. Trying it again.
I had one Outschool, and I was doing like a knitting class at 1 p.m. on Saturdays, and stuff kept coming up for Saturdays. And I'm like, I don't want to do mid-afternoon on Saturday. In the winter, it's okay because you're usually stuck inside. It's cold. But in the summer, I'm
right, that's true.
Saturday afternoon. But Saturday morning is okay.
But you've had a super busy Outschool week, right?
Oh, heavens.
Yeah.
2 camps. Rebecca and I did 2 3-hour camps each day for 4 days. So that's
I did 1 in the morning, and we had a fairly full house. We had 21 kids.
Wow, very good.
We did and that was week 2. So we've done 2 weeks of that summer adventure camp.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Hey, Rebecca.
Hi.
We're just talking about you.
Oh, thanks. Oh, my ears are ringing.
Yeah, right? All good stuff as always.
Oh, good.
So today we're going to talk about Outschool best practices. So what do you guys think are some best practices that we can let other teachers know for Outschool or online teaching?
Well,
yeah, Jerry.
I think one thing that sometimes is difficult, but I think it's really important, is communicating with families.
Oh, good.
It's time consuming.
Yeah.
At times. I mean, if it's time consuming, that means things are going well for the most part, because it means you have a lot of families.
Right.
I mean, that's one way to look at it. But I think it's important because you want to keep that link. You want to keep that, line of communication going. Yeah. The trick is if you reach out to them for something and they don't reach back out to you, there's always that. I had that happen to the point that I actually had to get Outschool involved because I needed to reach this family. And I could tell they were reading the messages and they were not replying to me. And I'm like, I'm just going to, and I literally needed, so they literally gave me the approval to do what I needed to do, whether I heard from the family or not. Because I was like, I've literally given you 3 weeks. Luckily I had that much time. I got to make a break now. But I think communication is really, really important because we're not in person. We're not meeting at a studio or a baseball field or wherever to actually interact. We have to rely on any of those modes of communication. That's one thing that I think is really helpful.
Good. How do you guys communicate with your parents?
Messaging.
Rebecca? Yeah.
I mostly use the classroom part,
Yeah.
but occasionally I'll message the learner.
Mhm.
I don't always message the parent too much. I never know which way works best because as a parent, I get both emails. And so for me, it doesn't really matter which way you choose. I know as a teacher, if you message through the learner, there's a track of that conversation. You message through a parent, it shows up into different conversations, and it's kind of hard to go back and see what you have said. But some people don't have the settings set up for the learner messages. I don't know, but they're also the learner messages stay in that classroom. So if you teach them in class A and then a few minutes later they're in class A, but they start class B, now you've got two sets of messages going on even with the learners. There's not a unified section where you can just talk to that one person parent.
If it's urgent, I message both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
But for like whole group communications, like, hey, I'm going on vacation, I'll see you back in a few weeks, a classroom. So anybody in that classroom will get that one.
Yeah. Cindy, do you communicate with your parents a lot, or how do you communicate with them?
Yeah, I have some different types of classes. So I had like a piano class, and then it whittled down to just one person.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of like, you kind of figure out what the parent is doing, figure out how they're reaching out to you, and then use that method.
Yeah, if the parent starts the conversation, I'll continue right where they start. I'll let them take the lead. But when I lead, I'm like,
yeah.
Well, I have a few parents that I'm able to communicate with. Other parents are more cut and dry. So it's really.
Yeah. And Outschool does want you to keep it all on their platform.
Yeah, if at all possible.
You're not allowed to.
What's that?
Hard way. You're not allowed to give them like your private email or something.
Right.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I want to keep it all there.
Yeah. I mean, a few of us are friends and we have, like, my daughter's enrolled in some of your classes, but I try to keep Outschool stuff on Outschool and like personal things on personal Facebook Messenger. I tried not to mix if I can help it, but sometimes it kind of comes up in our, personal conversations.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I try to keep things official.
Like Rebecca messaging me, Kasie, I'm not getting your emails through the classroom.
That's true too. Because like, can you send it here? Because I'm not getting it because I don't know why.
But we figured that one out.
Yeah. Check your spam folder. Even if you taught for a year and there's nothing in there, check your spam folder because there might be a hidden thing in there.
Awesome. So communication's a great one. Anyone else have an idea for a best practice?
Yeah. Something I learned way at the beginning was like, you can schedule your classes for any amount of time you want. You can schedule them however you want. And I tried to do them for longer periods of time. And I just kind of figured that it worked best for me to do like we do for our other ESL classes and just do the 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Because, and then if you have another class, do the 5-minute break at another 25 and just plan your class that way, because I think it works good for me. And also I found that my students, especially if they're young, like maybe if they're older, they can take longer time, but the younger ones, they sort of peter out, like,
15, 25, 30 minutes is probably like a good sweet spot.
Yeah, you realize they really don't want to sit there for longer, even though you love what you're teaching or whatever. They're pretty much ready to move on to the next thing. So if you
and as you plan your classes, plan it like kind of a minute. I mean, when we teach ESL, we kind of know at this part of the halfway part, 15 minutes, we should be at this part of the lesson. Right. And at this part, we should be this part. So when you make your own lessons, you don't have to script out, word for word, but just know, okay, I want to do this much for 15 minutes and then this much for 15 minutes. So do plan your lessons out. Otherwise, you might end up having extra time to kill, or you might have to feel rushed. So as you do the lessons over and over again, you will figure out a flow and go ahead and chunk it up by 10, 10, 10 or 15, 15, kind of figure out where you want to be at a certain point to finish it.
I also added to my list a best practice that goes along with that is extensions. Like
Mhm.
I plan my lesson, but I always have to have extensions because my adrenaline's up. I'm excited with the kids. So
Right.
extensions. But on the same point, I always want to make sure to have the stuff I have to hit at the beginning
Mhm.
because sometimes you have one student or a couple that are like more chatty or need a little extra help with something. So you don't necessarily get to everything. So
Right.
you have to be ready to scaffold things too.
For
So
sure. Yeah, I think with art too, it's interesting because you've got, well, with anything, but like some are going to use those supplies really easily and they're comfortable, and some are like, I don't know, what am I doing? And they take a really long time to like try it. And you're going, oh my God, come on, go, go, go. But my short classes are 35 minutes actually,
okay.
even for my 4 to 7, because I just found that it's better if I have one little quick time filler, which I've literally only used once in the whole year plus.
Mhm.
But I'd rather have a quick time filler if everyone got done. But what happens usually is they've got mom or dad or sister or someone next to them, and it just takes them a few more minutes. So, but having extensions or time fillers or and pacing, it's all really important. It just ends up like you have to sort of read the crowd of the day.
Right.
Who shows up to the class? Are they super sleepy? Like today in my class, I'm like, let's talk about warm colors. And I was like, and I'm pointing to them and I'm like, can you tell me a warm color? And they're all just looking at me and I'm like, everyone's really tired today. There was no response for a minute.
Yeah. Time management has always been tricky for me. I
Yeah.
can remember when I first started VIP Kids, Cindy and Kelly and
Ugh.
everybody explaining like, no, 25 minutes, try to stick to it. And I'm like, I keep going to 30, help.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm a talker. Obviously. Okay, so
Speaking of like going fast and trying to end, it reminds me of when you're a VIP kid and you leave, you want to try to leave at 25 minutes. And so in our school, you want to leave when you say you want to leave. Now,
yeah.
sometimes you have some leeway. You could have a couple more minutes. If you don't have to rush off anywhere and the kids don't have to rush off anywhere, you can go over a little bit. But it is good, no matter what, is to say goodbye to every single student. Don't
Mhm.
just say, time's up. Bye, guys. Click off.
Yeah.
That's rude. You want to say goodbye, so and so, goodbye, so and so, goodbye, so and so. You say your name, let them have a chance to say goodbye to you. And
Yes.
then I usually let like one or two people log off first, and then I'll count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I'll end the meeting.
Mm.
So they have those 5
Um,
seconds to say their goodbyes, and then I still have control of, and we're done because I don't want to go for 5 more
People
minutes.
say goodbye forever.
Yeah, they could. They could say
yeah.
bye for like 5 minutes. Oh, wait, hold on, one more thing. Like, nope, you got to count me out. And they blow me out. They go, and then the class is over.
Oh,
Because I
that's
know
good.
my daughter's going to say goodbye for 10 minutes if she could. But if she has control over ending the meeting with a blow, she might like that. So it
Yeah,
seems to work for the younger kids to do that. And it's kind of
good
fun.
idea.
Yeah, that's a super cute
Yeah, I
idea.
like my learners to leave too. I like them to leave first. And I'm like, bye. And I'm
Yeah,
waiting
but
for them
my
like,
daughter's usually the last person to leave. She doesn't want to leave. So it's like her and the teacher for like 5 minutes. And the teacher's like, bye. And you say goodbye. Like, Esther, just say goodbye and we're going to click out. Okay.
So cute. I put clean workspace. I think I don't have a clean workspace right now since I've moved. I've showed Jerry and Cindy the boxes behind me, but you can't see it right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
Can't
So
see what's
behind you looks
going on.
good.
Yeah,
Have a
professional.
little space in front of you to do even like my desk is super tiny, but I have one little section the size of a cookie sheet. And I
Right.
make sure that that's clean because that's where I have my camera going down and I show things. So I have to make sure that at least that little section I can work with. It's not too junky. So
Right. And for me, if I have a clean workspace, it just the flow of the class is better.
Yeah,
I'm more relaxed. I just clutter is
right.
like, oh, it's a source of stress for me. So I think having a clean workspace helps with that too. Helps me
Right.
with classes. So
I agree with that.
yeah.
Trying to
What do
have it. Yeah. I have to like put some folding tables. My space is, I have a good sized desk, but there's a lot on it. So there's only so much of it that can be my actual art studio space that I'm working on in front of them. So I had to put a couple of folding tables, but I moved them away. I put it all away because if I don't fold them and put them away,
Yeah.
I mean, my stuff's always out, so it doesn't feel like I'm ever completely put away.
Right.
But those things I put away because it makes me feel like I've cleaned the room and the day's over, even if it's only over for 7 hours, and then I'm back to ESL or whatever it is. But I do try to put some of those things away, and it does make it feel different.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So where's your background from?
Mine?
Yeah. Yours
Oh,
is
my
Amazon?
background, it's actually from Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an Amazon.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, you
Yeah.
love this background? I do
love that one.
too. I may never actually take it down. It just works really well for me. I always wonder, like, do the kids even really care?
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but it makes me
Some
feel
companies,
happy anyway.
it does matter, but Outschool, no.
Well,
doesn't matter.
right. I just always wonder, like, if they're thinking, because I taught a student today, just very fast. I taught a student today who's my most taught student through VIP Kid. I've taught her like 265 classes, and I haven't seen her in 3 months. And so I was really excited to see her because it happens like that. I used to see her 3 or 4 times a week, and now I see her every few months. And now we're going to do some more classes. And I always think she was like, "Really? I haven't seen you in 3 months. It's the same."
I didn't change it up.
Well, I mean, I've only been with
mine
this
for a
one
year, so
yeah, I've only been with it for a year, and I've taught her for pretty much almost 4 years. But still, it's like you never change your background.
I think kids though, they like things that are the same.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
they're reliable.
Consistency. Yeah.
The fact they see you, certain things are the same.
Yeah.
Gives them
That consistency really makes them feel comfortable, like they know what to expect.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Jerry. Here's the colors. Here's
I remember this. Yeah.
yeah. That's
I just
true.
got a background from Amazon, but I don't remember ordering it. I think they sent me the wrong one. It's a jungle.
It's
I'm
a,
like,
A
it's a
jungle?
huh.
Would
I
you
don't
have ordered a jungle?
jungle. It came with this one, but I never took
Oh.
packaging. So I thought it was another classroom one, but yeah,
Did you get charged for it?
Oh, I'm sure I did, but I thought I ordered 2, but I didn't remember ordering it.
Oh.
So anyway,
Yeah.
so clean workspace, a background. I think you're right, Jerry. The backgrounds make a difference for me. I've said this on this channel before. I don't know if you were here, but when I had my Harry Potter one up, although I like Harry Potter, it was very dark in the background.
Mhm.
And I didn't like all that dark kind of colors and stuff. But when I have Eric Carle stuff back there, it's like, oh,
yeah.
So
Yeah, I really like this one, and it just makes me feel like happy and comfortable. And I don't know, it works.
Can't go wrong with rainbows.
No, not really. And I love the brick. I just love the brick thing. Yeah.
I sent rainbows to Rebecca and Cindy for their class the other day. I thought of them.
Cute.
Yes, because we had a rainbow class last week.
Yeah.
It was fun. Those long 3-hour Outschool classes.
Woo.
Yeah, we had to chunk it up. It was nice because we also did time management. We go, okay, 15 minutes of this.
That's right.
40 minutes of an activity, 15 minutes, 40 minutes, 15, 40. So we had it all laid out. So we know what we had to do at each time. And then within the 40 minutes, I had it chunked up into smaller chunks. So it's like 3 hours, that's daunting. But if you go 40 minutes, okay, I can plan that and I can plan this. And so you plan by chunks.
But even then, like, you're like, okay, we're going to do this thing for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Well,
how long is that actually going to take? Like,
yeah. So I usually had 2 things in my 40 minutes because I'd rather not get to one than to go, I got 15 minutes to fill because everybody's done.
But the kids is great.
Right.
Like, you colored the rainbow, then we cut it out. We did made little, so you take every step, you make it
exactly
longer steps.
And I did so I've done 2 weeks of that camp, and the same thing. It's like some of the projects you have to think, okay, how am I going to do this and really make it? And sometimes, just like I've been saying, some kids are just ready to roll and they're already using the paint. And I'm like, if you want to go ahead and you feel comfortable with it, you are more than welcome to do that. But if you get ahead, and I tell all my artists this in classes, that's okay. You might have to wait for us at times.
Yeah.
Because you've chosen to go ahead, and it really is okay. truly. But you might also have to wait for us, and then you'll be sitting there, and that's okay too.
That's the fear for me, is that, and the kids this week did amazing. Like nobody did it faster, really.
Yeah.
But that's my fear, is that they're just going to get in there and they're going to scribble and be done. All done. Okay, what's next?
Right.
And then you're like, well,
But I treat it the same way as, oh, go ahead.
Oh no,
Go
I was
ahead,
gonna say, that project reminds me to make that one longer to help little ones with their fine motor skills. We would rip the paper in kindergarten. So
Right.
the strength in their hands, and it took them longer. You would think ripping paper is quick, but
It's not. I know.
No.
All
But
the
then they would
things
come
that
to my class and it was only halfway finished. I'm like, you didn't finish it in 40 minutes? Okay. You can finish it later.
that happened with us too, with my pod mate too. We'd be like, wait, what happened? I would message her and I'm like, I need 3 more minutes. And she'd write back, same. And we were originally going, oh my gosh, wait, let me regroup. I think I have enough stuff. And then you get in there and you're like, wow, okay. Can I have 3 more? Don't pull me out yet. Or, just hang on. And she's like, that's fine too. And you just never know how long something's going to take. I also do a little Canva presentation so I can put, like we did Rainbow one week and Animal Kingdom one week. And so I think this relates to best practices, is not just having the extensions and the fillers, but like I also, for me, artistically, I have to have a lot of visuals. I just feel like that's part of the value that I can bring. If I don't have a lot of visuals and I just have my white paper, my pencil, and my eraser in our drawing class, it's not enough. Even though that focus is my drawing class, my animal drawing class, it's not enough. So I have, over the year, every week I have, it's not a whole Canva presentation every week, but it's another page, and it's the animal of the week. And we have like 5 to 7 facts about the animal. And they know I'm not an animal expert, but we talk about the different things, and they add conversation and it adds socialization to the class. Right. We look at different kinds of images of that animal. And this week, I have to pat myself on the back, because this week we are doing letter Z. So we've made it through the entire alphabet. So we started the first week of January. Good. And this week is letter Z, so we're doing zebra.
It's already been 26 letters since January, or 26 weeks?
Yeah.
What happened to the year?
I know. I was just messaging you this and saying, why is it July?
26 weeks, it's done already. Yeah.
Right. Why is it July?
I like what you said. You said over the year you have adapted and you've changed.
Exactly.
I think some people want to come into Outschool and say, I have to do things now, how people are doing it a year later. Like they're looking at us going, whoa, you do this and this and this and technology and this and this and this. I have to do all that? No, it's over the year. You start off simple. Right. You start off with just a camera, and you can just have yourself. Then you can go into doing what Jerry does and having a cell phone hooked up, go into Zoom again, sign into the Zoom again, and have like a stand to look down on whatever you're working on. So then you'll have 2 screens.
Right here.
Exactly like that. So you have your face here, and then you'll have your document camera type of thing here. Mm-hmm. Then later on, you can venture out to screen sharing a PowerPoint presentation, right? Or you can show something there. So you can show a YouTube video, but you do not have to do it all at once. You start very simple, and you do not have to do many cam. You just start very simple.
And I learned from my podmate. We've been teaching each other a lot of things, and we've both been teaching for almost a year. But yeah, I've definitely evolved that class for sure. It used to be that we would draw very cartoonish animals, very, very simple. And now I challenge them and I'll say, well, we have a couple cartoon options. We have a couple of realistic options. And they'll say like, well, this is really hard to draw. And I said, I know, isn't that great? We have to challenge ourselves. It's hard to draw for me too. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to challenge ourselves. You can do it. And then at the end, I'm all excited because sometimes they've done an amazing job. And I'm like, yeah, see?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, let's say hi to Kim. Hey, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
Kim coming off night shift overnight.
My daughter was trying to call me. That's why I was trying to stop her from calling me for a minute. She just had class with us, and she's so excited because she's got a loose tooth finally. It's her first.
Oh,
so I was trying to stop her.
Yesterday, he was like, "Look," and I'm like, "Bleh."
Well, she's 6. She didn't get her first teeth till after she turned 1. So she's 6 and she's just now finally got her first tooth.
Oh.
So she's really excited. And I told her, just give me a few minutes and I'll answer, but I can't.
Yeah, so Kathy said, do you guys all make slideshows and use technical programs like Minicam for all of your Outschool classes? I haven't finished my Outschool profile yet. The thought of all the tech I need to learn is overwhelming.
And
I
I
would
was just
say,
talking
Can I
about
add
start
something?
slow.
what's that, Kim?
I said, can I say something to help answer that?
Yeah.
So I have 2 ongoing classes and I've done lots of others, but most of them I've not used any extra tech but just Zoom and either a whiteboard or paper. You can start really simple. That's how I started. The class that I did today, the one I just finished before I came on, all I had, well, I did screen share because that's where the book was. But when I first started the class, I had regular books like this. And I would just hold the book up and I would read the book and I would hold it to the camera and tell the story. And I would use a piece of paper and we would craft that way. The class only has evolved because Kindle's cheaper than buying all the books that I read with the kids, because I do get a book or 2 every week. But I still do it really simple. This was my, don't admire my awful artwork, but this is what we did today. I drew a parade route and we did fireworks in the sky. And then I showed them on my whiteboard how to draw fireworks. So you do not have to do all the technology. I do have Manicam. I do have the ability to do all of it, obviously, but you don't have to do it.
Right.
To start with. So no, don't feel like you have to, like Rebecca said, don't feel like you have to go in knowing how to do everything.
I
all the bells and whistles. Exactly.
Stuff like this.
Like, yeah, I mean, I think it's
Exactly. So-
really, really important to know that you don't have to go in with all of that stuff, because that'll definitely derail you. It'll be really overwhelming.
Yeah.
And there's already, I remember saying this to Rebecca so many times in May and June last year. I just kept saying, there's so many moving parts. There's so many moving parts, because there's so many things to learn. Even if you start with paper and a whiteboard in front of the camera,
There's still Zoom features that you can
just
learn.
learn the things that are the steady things that are the
Exactly.
necessities, like the the whiteboard and holding it up, to the right place and
Get the
and
glare,
Yeah.
Like,
Testing for the
like,
glare.
Another teacher, like you could go online with another teacher friend and work on your Zoom.
right.
You can
Yeah,
even
Jared and I did that a lot. We
Right.
always did
So
like
many
private
times.
things. We just kind of Zoomed each other and
Yeah.
go, okay, let me try these features. Let me try these features. Did
Yeah.
this work? Did that work? Because we had to practice a little bit.
So
That's
many
what
breakout room
Marianne and I did.
practices.
Exactly. That's what Marianne and I
the thing
did too.
is, don't forget that you already know a ton of stuff.
Right.
Look at what you already know teaching. Don't try to say, I've got to do some totally new thing. Say, what have I been teaching? What have I taught before? What am I good at? What do I enjoy? And take what you know. Like, I like to learn new things,
Right.
but if you already know a lot, so take something you already know and then just, if you want to add to it, fine. If you don't, just make it fun. It's really a lot of what we did even for the camp is just being there and just, being a personality and
Having good energy.
getting the kid engaged to do something of their own. Sometimes the kids want to share, like we gave them time to find something red, find something blue, find some, we did simple things too.
Right.
And get them out of their seats a little bit.
Yeah, we didn't do everything completely amazing. And like sometimes Rebecca didn't see me in the breakout room when I was just talking about what classes have you taken on Outschool? What's your favorite color?
Sometimes it's just conversation.
Yeah. So have some conversation starters and let the kids talk a lot because they want to talk.
Yeah, like a smiling face and some positive vibes with someone that's new, that's interested in you. Like, I want to see that. What is that? Oh, let's see that, Susie. And then that's a lot right there, actually.
I did a couple stories even during the week, because I knew that we needed some kind of quieter things that weren't majorly energetic. And so I read a couple stories and they're like, I really like that story you read yesterday. And it was just like a Winnie the Pooh story. It wasn't anything like modern and far out. So, you don't have to make it like a TV show. They just want to be they're kids, they haven't seen all the things you've seen. So you can bring it.
Right. Yeah. Make it two-sided. It's not just a YouTube video that they can watch.
Right.
Because they can do that on their own.
Right.
They're going to actually have a conversation with somebody and it needs to be both sides.
Right.
Yeah. Student engagement was on the list as well. I think that's super important because especially being online, I think in the brick and mortar classroom, you stand in front of them, you have expectations. They don't have their things around them. They don't have their family and the distractions that they do at home. I think online it's a little bit trickier to keep them engaged because it's like, oh, hey, look, I have a truck over there, and they go and get it. In the classroom, you've already set those expectations, I don't know. It's
I had
definitely
a little girl today because I had a math class, and at the beginning of the class, I'm like, wow, she is kind of remedial compared to the other kids. So then I'm going along and I'm making mental notes of how I'm going to work the lesson so everybody's happy and everything. All of a sudden, she got all the answers right. And I'm like, wow, I didn't realize she had someone whispering the answers to her.
But it reminds us. Oh, really? How funny.
I'm like, oh, okay.
But you know what? It reminds me of teaching ESL for those that are also ESL teachers or watching or whatever. I mean, we get in there, we assess that we have to kind of assess the situation, whether you're teaching a group ESL or one kid, you have to kind of assess it and sort of scaffold and like on the fly, make the adjustments of, like, oh, I'm going to teach this thing. It's so easy. We're going to make simple shapes and we're going to draw a dog. And then I get in there and I'm like, whoa, okay, hold on a second. This is either not as easy as I thought, and so you just have to start like on the fly within mentally going, what am I going to do? Where am I going with this? And have a few little tricks up your sleeve and just be prepared for switching gears the same way that, you have a really low student and a high level. All right, we're reading together. My turn.
Yeah.
Your turn.
So
and don't push them too. Don't push the kids to feel like they have to talk in class. I have a student in the class I just finished that she's said maybe 15 words to me in the last 4 months. She doesn't talk in class, but she'll thumbs up and tell me something or thumbs down, shake her head no, shake her head yes. And I don't push her. I'll call on her and I'll ask her yes or no questions.
Right.
And she'll respond to me. And then when she's ready, she'll talk. And she does. She'll talk sometimes, but she always comes to class. She's always happy. And she'll tell me what she wants. So don't feel like you have to make them talk. Yes, make them communicate, thumbs up, thumbs down, nod, but don't expect them all to talk. Rebecca's daughter came to my class. She was a little nervous at first, but by the end she was talking to me. So it's just about waiting them out and letting them see it's okay. And I think part of her fear was because my daughter is in my class and she came in really excited and hyper, and I think it overwhelmed her, and that's okay. And I figured it might. So I was like
that, and she has her regular favorite teachers she sees every week. And when I throw in a new class with a new teacher, she's like all scared. Like, I don't know this teacher. I don't know this. Like, she's one of my friends, and you saw her back in October. You don't remember it? No, this is October, So she has to get used to a new teacher. So as a teacher, know that sometimes your kids are scared of you because you're new.
Yeah.
They've never seen you before. So you have to go in there gently. And Kim was great, doing very gentle, because you're right. Especially when it says first student for you, or new to you student, or even first class on Outschool, means it's the first time on the platform, period. So you want to make that a very good, calm, positive experience, so they want to come back.
Exactly.
So keep track of those notes in your Outschool profile of this one's brand new to you or brand new to Outschool.
And then when you have those ongoing students, if they tell you their birthday or something, write it down, put it in your Outschool notes, because they have a little place now on the platform you can put it. Or like I did, I stuck it in my calendar, because first thing my student asked me today, when's my birthday? Do you know? Do you remember? And her birthday's in 10 days. I was like, let me think. I was like, don't tell me. I was like, it's in 10 days. And she's like, yes. So just those little things, remembering those little things for them, especially with, because I have 5-6-year-olds in that group. It's really exciting to them to know that you remembered, because I try to make sure we make a big deal out of birthdays. We'll read a birthday book and we'll celebrate if they're in there that week. So, because I've had these kids some of them since December, some of them January, February. So I've had these kids for a while. And so they're, they're excited. As soon as they come in, they're ready to tell you stuff. And so be prepared. Don't have we have to do this at this time, this at this time, this at this time. Know what you want to do and by what point, but don't expect to come in and just, okay, we have to do this. Nope. Today was not a day where I got to start class and say hello. Today was a day where they came at me with stuff they had to tell me. So just be ready. Be expecting the unexpected.
definitely goes back to the time management we were talking about earlier.
Sorry, I missed that part, but
Oh no, it's perfect. It's just it's all in the best practices. So really quick, I want to shout out. We have Evelyn here. Hey Evelyn, she says she's listening while potty training.
Oh,
one of her kids, hopefully, not herself, right?
Luann,
He's like her 3-year-old is now to that point that he's starting to learn.
yes,
Aw, exciting.
that her 3-year-old. So, and Mindy is here. Hey, thanks for coming. So I want to know, for those of you in the chat, what are some best practices that you've come up with to help you in your Outschool classes that we can share with other teachers coming to our platform too? So,
Oh, I meant to add, Kasie, so sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. But if you do decide to do presentations and all that and share it, you don't have to go in really complex and complicated. I do have my other ongoing class is a book class, and I have a group of boys. I have actually one girl finally, but I have a group of boys. And they're all like 8 to 12-year-old boys. So I do book questions, and it's just the question. I put maybe 2 or 3 pictures up with it to kind of either hint at an answer or hint at the question or something sometimes, because they don't always reread the book, but it's okay. They've all read them. They just don't always reread before class. And then I always make sure I put at least on one side something silly or goofy that's tied in, but maybe that makes them all start laughing.
yeah.
And they love it. So just know your audience, right? Know who you're talking to, and don't think you have to be all. I tried at first to do it complicated, and it was taking me time. And I was like, I've done this too long. I've taught for too long to think that I need to be complicated. So I went simple, and the kids love it even more. And they draw on this screen, and they like make comments on it, and it just makes it a lot more fun. So even if you feel like you need to do something, or if you want to, don't feel like you have to go extravagant. Don't keep in mind that the time you spend outside of the Outschool classroom comes out of your profits, right? The money you're making per hour.
Right.
So you don't want to spend hours upon hours working on something that you're not getting any ROI, no return on investment. So
Right.
Yeah.
keep it simple. The KISS method. I had to teach Kasie that, the KISS method.
Keep
Yeah.
it simple.
And the other thing is you can also do is, like, I make my slides on Canva.
Me
And
too.
so if you have a phone, you could always show you what I have. I can go to my slides, and I can actually show the slides right on the phone. So like, say you wanted to do something like this, you could just show them that, and then
That's true.
Exactly.
just
You don't
do
have
like
to
that.
screen
So
share.
today we did eagles, and you
Right.
could show them like that, and you can make it simple, but still have a slide to show them about whatever your topic is.
Right. Yeah, I've done
Exactly.
that too. That's a good
Mhm.
idea.
I have
Have
two
you
when
ever
I'm
shown-
Here
traveling.
I have like a chart. I have like a counting chart. So if I put it really close,
Mhm.
you can see the numbers.
Yeah.
But
I've done that with
I'll share my screen, but it can also be done with your phone or
exactly. And when I've done Kindle books, yes, I screen share them on my computer most of the time because it's easy that way for me, but you can do it from your phone. When I travel and I only have I'm teaching from my iPad, I'll screen share the book on my phone. I'll just hold the book up. I'll read the page, hold it up, let them see the picture. So you don't have to screen share. You don't have to feel like you have to try to connect all this and feel overwhelmed. So
yeah. And when I read the
do what
story,
works for you.
I read the stories to the kids this week. I just read it right on this.
Mhm.
Because
Exactly.
I was trying to do it next to me, and then you wouldn't see my face.
Yeah.
So then I just went ahead and just did it like that, showed them the picture.
Yeah, I hold the books up right here. I just read it
Yeah.
and show them in the books.
I
But
do too usually, unless it's got like a lot of really small text that I need to actually read. But on
Yeah.
my phone, it was really small, so I'd have to read it. Like I'd do like this. I'd hold it like
Yeah,
this, read it, hold it up a little closer,
might not
read
work.
it, hold it up a little closer. But they could still see it the whole time. Like they could see, and I stayed on camera, and it worked. But you do
Yeah.
what you have to do when you're traveling, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So there's a
Like-
lot of different things you can do that are not necessarily technology heavy.
Mhm.
And just think about your normal, regular teaching life. And one thing you do want to be careful of is glare. Like when I tried to do my iPad, I wanted to do it next to me with the external camera on my iPad,
yeah.
and that you get a glare from it. So that might not work so well.
Yeah.
But like
So-
if you have charts and things like that, just make sure that they're non-glare.
Right.
Jerry, what were you gonna ask?
Well, I was going to say that I learned this week that you can have what you want on your iPad. Let's say you have a book or whatever.
Mhm.
And on Zoom, when you do share, you can go to share from your iPad. And so you can do an AirPlay. Yeah, you can AirPlay. Well, okay, AirPlay maybe because I have a Mac, but you can do it like a share from your
Yeah.
iPad. And if you can do AirPlay, you don't have to plug it in. And then instead of it pulling stuff from your desktop, pulling it from your iPad.
Cool. I didn't get that one. I
There's
have
another.
learned how to like use QuickTime, put my iPad on my computer.
Yeah.
I might do a video about that.
Mhm.
I was doing it a different way, and for some reason it's not working. And I went with the tech guy that Amanda has on her group, and he couldn't help me with it. So I don't know what happened.
But all of this is
other
just
methods-
as time has gone on. I
Yes,
mean, like,
definitely.
I don't think any one of us jumped in here and was using all of these different things. We were like using paper, whiteboards, and pretty simple
Very
elementary
simple.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
you're always learning
Yes.
and growing. Like some of those things I don't even do yet. And so I'm always learning and growing.
Yeah.
You guys, like, okay, I can try this and I can try that. And you know, you just have to keep it fresh for yourself too. And then as you get more familiar with the Zoom platform, you can do more fancy things, but you do not have to do fancy things.
Right.
You can be a little clunky to start.
And they won't notice. Teach with confidence. Act like you know what you're doing. They're not going to know the difference.
Right.
You have to go in thinking you have to do 50 million things. Do what you feel comfortable with.
Like Cindy said, remember what you know already.
Exactly.
Yes,
And like they said,
absolutely.
practice with a friend. Contact any one of us. I'm sure we'd give you a few minutes of our time and let you teach it to us. I've done it with a friend of mine. She and I will teach each other and practice a new class just to kind of get a feel for it. How does it look? How does it sound? So feel free to, practice with someone that you know on Zoom, just so you get used to, okay, how can I hold this so there's not any glare when I'm writing on it? Or how can I show this? Or how can I, oh, does this work? Does this, try it out. It's okay to ask for help, ask someone else. Zoom is free to use for a few minutes, just one-on-one. So you don't have to like pay for anything. Just ask someone for some time. So
Right. Kathy said, you guys are making me feel better.
I wanted to say too, one thing that I would keep in mind for best practices also is the way we've learned through VIP Kid to do the reward system. Every few minutes you give them a reward. I do this for my piano student who's very young and he's learning really well, but to sit there for even 25 minutes just doing piano is a lot. But I pulled up Paw Patrol, and every 5 minutes he gets a Paw Patrol sticker. We talk about Paw Patrol. So if you have classes like that, or even anything, you could use Manicam, or you could use just your regular 2D rewards. And that is a really good thing to remember also.
Yeah, super cute.
Oh, I did have something also. Sorry. Mindy, my daughter took her class the other week, a camp, or before she went out of town. My daughter's been out of town for a few weeks now, but anyway, she took her camp, and Mindy had a great idea for when you're doing a story, and I've kind of adapted it from there. So Mindy had a worksheet for them to color because it was a farm animal camp. So she'd have an animal for the day, and while she was talking to them, she wanted them to be looking obviously at her. When she would start to read the book, though, she'd tell them they could color their picture while she was reading. So I've started kind of switching up. I used to try to wait and do my craft at the end of class and show them. So now I show them at the beginning. Here's what I thought of. You can, my rule in my crafting class is be creative. You do what you want. It doesn't have to follow even my theme. So listen to the story. If something pops in your head, draw it or create it, and they will. But so that's what I started doing. So they'll color and all that. They're listening, they're paying attention, but they're not maybe talking or playing with their toys. They're listening and coloring or doing what you want and staying on camera while they're working. So that's another best practice, to keep them focused, is give them something to do while you're reading a story or lecturing or whatever it is.
Yeah. Right. And going on with that is you learn from our friend Mindy.
Exactly.
And people here on the YouTube channel are learning from us. But there's a whole bunch of people on Facebook that you can learn from too. So
Oh, yeah.
get into these Facebook groups, and if they're not healthy, get out. Like if you have too much complaints, get out of them. You know, keep the healthy ones, but there's so many out there. So get involved, and you can learn from different people. Oh, that's a cool trick. I want to do that. Oh, they have the same question I do. I'm going to look at their responses because they're out there. So get a community. And I know when we joined back last year, when we signed up, they kind of like put us into a beginners Facebook group, like a newbie Outschool teachers, and we could ask all the newbie questions we want to, because the admins are there to answer all those newbie questions. And then after about a month, they said, "Okay, guys, you're
They
doing
kick you
great.
out.
We're going to move you to the real big group. You've had all your questions answered. We're going to move you over here. We're stopping the cohort. You're going to move in." So now that we're in the big group, we don't have all those newbie questions all the time. And you don't see those newbie questions all the time because people have been, you know, asked all those, and they get to be moved into the big teacher hub. Now that occasionally they have questions there too, and that's fine, but you don't feel bad having those newbie questions because you've had the safe, smaller group to ask questions in.
Well, since you're talking about all of that, another great idea would be the professional development with Outschool. They've got some great professional development on there. I like their
and free
one. Yeah, they're free, but they're just
Which one do you like?
Where you practice writing a description for your classes. They gave us some tips and tricks. That
Nice.
was but yeah, I like that one.
There's literally so many that you can't do them all.
Yeah. I wanted to say too, like if you like, I see some of my friends doing Canva, I'll watch a video, or if they do a Manicam, I'll watch a video. But don't forget that these companies have their own tutorials.
Yeah.
Like you can go to Canva and you can watch all the Canva tutorials, you know.
I did that with Zoom. Did that with Zoom, and there was literally like 300 of us in there.
Wow.
But it was a webinar. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to jump in. And it was pretty interesting.
Companies, these companies, even YouTube, they have their own little free tutorials that you can watch, and you can learn the stuff. Like say you're folding laundry, just put on one of those things. And while you're doing something else, I put my earbuds on and I'll just run around the house doing my cleaning stuff, and then just come back and go back to business or whatever. So there's a lot of resources out there, and just learn one thing at a time. Like say, hey, this week I'm going to do Canva, and just do for a week all the Canva videos that you can watch. And then the next week do another topic. Like one thing I want to do, and I've done a lot of, is like games online or on Zoom games. And some of them I'm like, some of them are too difficult. So I just kind of try to pick an easy one, get used to that one for a while. And then when I get done thinking, okay, that one, I want something new, then I'll just add one little thing. You don't have to go nuts. Like I've watched boom cards videos, but I'm like, I'm not ready for that. I've watched, some other tutorials. I'm not ready for those. So I just take what is easy. I'm doing Canva, and I share my screen right to Canva.
Right.
And that's how I've been doing those. And I'm going to just do that for a while.
And I will say, if my husband, who is technologically inept, can manage to work Canva, you probably can too. So I've taught him enough just to do the basics.
Canva's
It
awesome.
is fairly simple. It automatically saves. And so I use it every week, but it is great because it has tons of like stuff done for you, like presentations. You just have to go in and change the words and pictures, or worksheets. You can pull up ones they have or make your own really simply. So don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel. Remember, it's used from other people, used from what you have, use templates. Don't go in thinking you have to have 50 million things ready. You don't. Keep it simple. Just best practices, keep it simple, be yourself, and engage the class.
And don't forget the dollar store. Like,
Love the dollar store.
I got these. You can just use regular cards. I use these sometimes.
Oh, I have a drawer full of flashcards that I'll pull, not for Outschool, for another group, but still for another thing I teach for. But yeah, you can pull them for Outschool too. There's tons of stuff you can throw up there. And keep it simple. Make your own if you need to, but don't reinvent the wheel. Don't feel like you have to.
Right. Mindy said, always smile, be positive, and be energetic. That's her best practice listed. Harvetta said, I haven't taught on Outschool yet, but I love and appreciate these wonderful ideas. Oh, glad you're here. Glad we can help. Mindy said, Jerry, to share your iPad, do you have to have an Apple computer?
And then I wrote her back and said, no, because I think I wrote her back and said, no, because I learned it from someone who I know does not have a Mac, and she does it all the time. That's actually primarily how she does her sharing. So, I'm going to say no,
But
even though
that's
I have a Mac,
on
but
Zoom, right? That's on Zoom.
it's on Zoom. So in Zoom, you would click on share, but instead of share screen, you probably most likely have the default as desktop computer. So
Yeah.
instead, you're going to click over to iPad, and then you just want to have what you have ready on the iPad.
Excellent.
Yeah. And so I'm just experimenting. I'm new to those things too. I'm just experimenting with that too, like sharing sound and playing a quick video clip and stuff like that. I was just going to say two quick things, and then I actually have to go. And one is I learned things about how to change my classes from my learners. So when I'm evolving my classes, that's been a best practice for me too, is that there are things that I see that they want or that are too much. I either hear from parents a little bit and they'll say, I think it's great that you've encouraged them to bring these or use these colors. And my daughter always wants to use different colors. And I always say, you can use whatever colors because I'm primarily teach art, but she wanted me to emphasize it more instead of saying like, I'm using these colors. She wanted me to specifically invite them more in that class. And it actually changed some of my dialogue, but also in my drawing class, going back to that again, a lot of them didn't really want to draw a cartoon. And I'm not a very good realistic drawer, but what we did was we all came in and I challenged myself, and I have grown as an artist with that aspect. And I show that to them and I help them break it into simple shapes. So I've learned from them what I need to do to evolve my class. And then really quickly, I was going to say about Canva, you can be a Canva for, if you put in an application for Canva for education and have access to all the pro tools, it is okay to do that and teach those things. What you cannot do is sell your designs. You cannot sell them to anybody, but you can make things and you can use them in your classes, even though you are being paid and even though Outschool is considered a commercial use. That has already been asked directly to people at Canva, and I've had my own answer directly, and I also saved an answer from someone else. So if you're looking to do that, you have access to a lot more through Canva for education, and you can, as long as you don't sell something.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I do ask the questions here because sometimes I don't click the button for the chat to be live. Like when somebody watches the replay, they don't always get to read the chat.
Right. So that's true. Okay.
Answered it.
Thank you.
So I did,
okay.
Answer, but I
okay.
Make sure I got that out there. So let's see. Danny, I love a 30-minute class, perfect times, and games are a must too. So, and she shouted out Mindy. Dixie took Mindy's class and loved it. She loved your class too, Kim. Aw, sweet.
Dixie's been with me for a long time in class. So
yeah.
I love her. I love having all of them in there.
She said, don't forget to give a shout out to Kim's discount Facebook group. Yes, the Outschool free and discounted Facebook group. You can go on there. It's like almost at 10,000. It's crazy.
I'm kind of wanting this to get to 10,000 by August 8th, just so we can make it for the anniversary. But if we don't, obviously, I'm not like pushing it. But
right.
I just want to see if we can
advertise your brand new classes, or if you have children ages 3 to 18, you can shop there and start with a discount class, and you can kind of listen from the background to hear how teachers teach and present themselves and do things, so that you can get ideas for personalities. You can get ideas for, okay, I can do something like that. I mean, my daughter's very first class was a super duper simple class. I'm like, I can do that. And it gave me confidence as a teacher to go, I can do that. Of course, I didn't copy her class, but I took inspiration from it and the timing of it. And she did this and then this and this. Like, okay, I can flow like that.
Right. I think maybe next week we need to talk about Rebecca and Kim's Facebook groups. I
have one for Teacher Showcase that I'm trying to interview. So if you're a teacher and you want to be interviewed for Outschool, I also do that and put it on the Facebook group. I mean, it's, growing slowly, but yeah.
So maybe we'll do a shout out Saturday next Saturday and talk about all of them in depth. So Mindy said, don't forget to oh, thanks, Mindy. Senya's here. Hey, Senya, how you doing? Oh, yeah, Senya is, actually, I think her and I have been talking Kid Pass. So Mindy was just asking if she was interested in Outschool. Happy Farms. She said, Cindy, I'm cleaning now and listening. You are such good learners equals good teachers. Good learners equals good teachers. Oh, because we learn, we're good teachers. Guys,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh,
You
yeah.
never stop learning.
Exactly. I was just going to say, Rebecca, never stop learning. We always are learning something new.
Sanya said she's not ready for boom cards either.
I haven't done that part yet either.
I watched
I
all
don't even know what that is.
Amanda Panda did a workshop about it, and I did it, and I get it. Well, you can actually get flashcards. They're kind of digital flashcards, and you can get some that other people already made.
Yeah.
So you don't have to actually make your own. But if you're really, into that kind of stuff, you can actually, like, say you have a class and you know exactly what questions you want to ask. That would be a thing to do. It's like just digital flashcards.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Oh, Danny said her back's been hurt, so she's been standing again. Yeah, I've been sitting since I moved here, but I definitely need to go back to standing because it hurts my tush. Oh, let's see. Mindy, she said she really wants to take art from Jerry. I know, it sounds awesome.
She's got some great classes.
Let's see. Thank you, Danny. I love having Teacher Kasie, do you have an Outschool Facebook page? What is the link for the discount Facebook pages? Let's give her, Rebecca and Kim, can you add your links to your Facebook groups? There are two awesome groups. So Kim's is where you can put free and discounted classes up, or you can have your kids take them. And Rebecca's is like connecting the parent side with the teacher side. So two totally different groups, but they're both really good.
I have to think how to do it.
Yep. I think one more thing before we go is with bad ratings. Okay, with like these ESL companies, you get like, a knife thrown at you when you get a bad rating and you lose your certifications. I mean, just like it's the worst thing ever to get like a 4-star rating. Okay. In Outschool, you do get some lower ratings, but we have the viewpoint of we just learn from it. Yes, it can bring it down a little bit, but it doesn't stop parents from signing up for your class. And you have the opportunity to respond to the parent publicly. Just make sure you do it kindly and professionally. But usually it has some kind of tidbit of advice of how you can make things better. And I have learned and I've grown from my few lower ratings to go, you're right. I could have done this better. And then you grow from it. So don't feel so bad. Plus, the ratings show up differently on Outschool than do in like VIP Kid, where VIP Kid, it says like 4.95 is really bad, In Outschool, you just have the lit up stars. So you don't lose a half a star until it goes 4.5. And you get like a half a star. So you have to go down quite a ways to get that half star to a 4.5. That's pretty low. But it's going to show up as 5 stars, even if you have like one lower rating. So, the more ratings you have, the more 5 ratings you have, it kind of evens out. So don't feel bad about it. Just kind of take a deep breath and learn from it.
Right. Hey, Jason, thanks for coming by.
And if you do post classes in our the discount group, we do not tell the parents, obviously, to give you 5 stars, but we do ask that they give you honest feedback. When I was first really building up my classes, Rebecca was kind enough to have her daughter take my class, and she gave me honest feedback. She gave me a good public rating, but privately she told me what I needed to work on, and she was absolutely right. I agreed with her. So ask your friends if they have young kids to, hey, would you take my class at a discount for free, whatever, and be honest. Tell me, okay, what do I need to work on? Because we're still learning. We all need to keep learning. And so the one bad rating I've actually publicly had on Outschool, I completely agreed with it. I was, some of y'all may know, I work nights on the weekends, and I was just dead tired by the time I had that class, and I didn't give it my all. And that's on me. And so I knew when I saw the rating, I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I've tried to do better. Like today I took a 2-hour nap before I came taught my class, and I felt perkier. But even if I haven't slept, I try to make myself feel perkier, because 13-hour shifts are long. So it's kind of hard to be perky, but I do try to bump my energy back up, drink something caffeinated, walk around, do something to wake myself up fully so that I can be fully there, because otherwise you're going to get the low ratings if you're not giving it your all. So
Agreed.
And I like with Outschool, you have the public feedback and then you have a private feedback and then you have a feedback just for Outschool. Like the staff of Outschool, which I don't really know what to write there. You know, that's like super duper private. But I do try to put like a good review, maybe, you know, give generic, but if I have any really issues or tips or tricks as a fellow teacher to another teacher, I'll do it in the private feedback. Because sometimes these teachers are like, this is my first class ever. I'm gonna give a huge discount because I'm so nervous. So but private, like, you did a really good job. Here's just a few hints that, you know, you can take it or leave it. And they really appreciate that in the private feedback.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. You've done that for me before, Rebecca, too.
I'm good at doing that.
It helps. I love it. Yeah. And she's really good at it too. Oh, is that the
Yeah,
link?
that's from mine. I just put it there.
All right.
Yeah, it's called Outschool Parent Connection is my Facebook group. It's the unofficial. It says where parents and teachers connect. You can share your classes in there on Saturdays. We have other things, like if you have questions on like, what does it look like on the parent side? I can kind of dive into the parent side. As long as it doesn't show too much personal information, I'd be happy to tell you what the parents see, because that can also impact how you communicate with the parents.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff that some teachers don't know how that works.
Yeah. There's been a lot you've taught me. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming, and thank you everyone in the chat. It's been a blast today. I'm really I'm really happy with this video. It kind of flowed nicely. At least I thought so. So
look at us, keeping us to 30 minutes. That's good. That's good.
30 minutes.
1 hour later.
I hope somebody's doing this while they're doing laundry or
that's what I usually do too.
Kasie was worried about the start time. I was like, well, just start it early. I'll come in late. It's okay because you'll still be talking.
Chat, what did you do while listening to this today? What was
Fire training, laundry, gardening.
Awesome. Well, I hope everyone. Oh, here's something for Kim. Teacher Kim, what days, hours do you work on Outschool? I'm getting a new job and I'm not sure how I will balance it all.
Okay, well, my schedule's not one to compare it to because I do work for 4 different companies a week. But so try to set hours that work for you. You want to set the times that work for you. It doesn't work to set hours that obviously either you can't work consistently or you just maybe you'll be too tired, too exhausted. So before I started working nights, I already had this Saturday morning class at 11. Now, because I do work nights on Friday night, Saturday night, I do not have any other Outschool classes on the weekend. That way I can get my rest. So I do keep that one because, well, I couldn't give it up. It's my favorite, one of my favorites. But I don't have any others. As for my other classes, they are during the week when I have time. One's in an evening class because I want to reach the people who, are at school or maybe Pacific time, which I do have a lot of kids in that class. It's like 8 p.m. on Monday nights. And then I have a separate section of that one on 1 p.m. on Tuesdays because I have kids who are homeschooled or were home during the pandemic. Their schools were closed so they could come to the class too. It's a smaller group. Luckily, unfortunately, my son gets to come to both of the sections of my class because, well, he's my talker. So I know that if nothing else, he'll answer my questions. And Kelly will do that too. He's in some of teacher Kelly's classes. She's been on Kasie's channel too. And she'll put him in whatever section she needs him in because he's a talker. So he can read through a book in like 5 minutes and he can tell you everything about it.
Wow.
He's not to brag. I'm being serious. He really can just read through a book really fast and answer every question about it and understand it. And I don't know how he does that because that's not me, but
me neither. Awesome.
I mean, I read the books for our class and it takes me, well, I'm doing it between classes, but it still takes me a while to read it and write questions and all that. Mm-hmm. He'll have sat down and read the book and he's like, okay, Mom, we got class in 5 minutes. I was like, did you just read the whole thing? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we do.
The other thing to keep in mind is that you have the option of a flex class, which I haven't made any flex classes yet, but that's also cool. You can actually do a recording and then, you can put it up there with a few activities. And some people say that's really awesome. I haven't done it yet personally, but I'm planning to.
I liked it. I had a blast with that one. Rebecca and Kim both had their babies in that one. So
I've created one, and I will say it is difficult to create because you have to follow all their hoops and get it just right. Once you do, it's done. I have not posted it yet because I have to record the videos and I want to make sure everything's ready before I put it out there for parents to join, obviously. And I just haven't had the time to record the videos. But but if you have an idea, go ahead and start working on submitting it before you finish all the details, because they sent it back to me like 5 or 6 times. No, you need to do this a little different, or no, you need to maybe change this a little bit. And they really scrutinize the flex ones, but they are great once you have it because you can post it whenever you're ready for it.
right.
And they can just go, you just have to make sure you check in on it, but that's about it. You don't have to go at a certain time. So
Awesome.
definitely beneficial.
Flex class. I haven't opened any of my classes in the last couple months since I was moving. So I was just telling Cindy that earlier. Mindy asked about the flex class. So I plan on opening them here shortly. But yeah, I took a couple months off and just did mostly VIP kid and group stuff. So, all right. Well, I see lots of happy 4th of July's in here in the chat box. So everybody have a safe, happy weekend, and we'll see you all next time. Thanks,
Great.
Cindy, Kim, Rebecca, and Terry. See you next